I'm 80% certain that the pilots just didn't want me to make this video. Friday, the 24th of May, 2024. The release date of 21 Pilots' 7th studio album, Clancy. For most clickies, such a day was first spent watching the album livestream at 4 AM because the pilots seemed to forget that we all actually have lives, and then the rest of the day was spent screaming over the music videos, giving initial reactions, and also going mad because Paladin Strait exists. But I, dear avid viewer, was on holiday when it released because they just had to drop it when I wanted to start my break. And that marked the beginning of my Clancy experience. After returning home from holiday, I was really excited to finally be able to look at the album I had pre-ordered from the official website. Only for the issues to continue. I'll get into what exactly that issue was in a bit, because it's something realistically I have to show you. To counteract this issue, I went to my local HMV, thinking that this was potentially a blessing in disguise, as I could vlog the moment I actually attained Clancy. Only for HMV not to have any CDs. I'm sorry, excuse me. You are quite literally the biggest record brand in the UK. How can you not sell any CDs of an album that only released a week? Anyway, I then proceeded to order the alternate slipcase from HMV online for delivery, since I bought the alternate slipcase last Psy era and it was pretty cool. But as some of you may have seen from my community page, the problems did not end there, with both CDs I ordered being broken upon arrival. It's almost like the powers that be saw that a YouTuber named after the fictional antagonist of this story was trying to acquire an album named after the fictional protagonist of this story, who was probably gonna burn said city down by the end of it. They just had to keep us separated. After 2 weeks of trials and tribulations, however, Clancy was finally acquired. Before I explore the actual album first, however, let me show you what the first issue I encountered was. So, back when the Clancy tour was first announced, the pilots sold an exclusive black sleeve cover version of the Clancy album as a way to get pre-sale access. Me, thinking it was dope as hell, ordered 2. This is what the sleeve album looks like. It is quite literally just a cardboard sleeve with a CD stuffed inside that could likely fall out and get damaged at any moment. Normally sleeve albums are a bit bulkier to make up for this and still come with little gimmicks like a lyric book, but this literally had nothing to my disappointment. Also, whilst I'm here, I'd like to give a quick minute of silence for my friend and vlog buddy Tom, who you may have seen in the previous Psy Experience videos. He's not dead, just at university because he's a loser. Anyway, let's get on to the real album unboxing. So this is the normal version of Clancy. I like it a lot more than the alternate slipcover album because I felt like that design was a little bit messy, and this one's just a lot more nicer, to be honest. Here's the top of the album with the normal 21 Pilots logo for this era on it, and this is the side of the album where the actual CD goes. I would also like to say I'm absolutely in love with this little Clancy strip that Tyler wore on that stole. It's just really nice. And this is the back of the album. Here are a few of the symbols for this era. And yeah, it's honestly just a really good looking album. So that's the cardboard cover now off of the album itself, and it's pretty much the same thing. It's got the same details on the side. There's the CD in the middle, there's the CD at the bottom, and we've got another version of that stole thing on the very side of the CD as well, which is nice. And opening it up, we've got more of that Clancy design, which I absolutely adore, covering the CD, and we've got a really saturated version of Tyler and Josh. Opening it up, we also have an image from the Overcompensate music video, which is a nice touch. The album booklet keeps the same design. We see front cover with the 21 Pilots logo on the front and the Clancy logo on the back. And opening it up, we have a lot of the cool images for this lyric booklet, which I've seen floating around. Next semester, I think that's Backslide. Midwest Indigo I really like. I think that's the only bluish coloured one in the entirety of the album booklet, which is a nice detail considering that's a coloured song. But yeah, moving on, we have Vignette, and The Craving. We've also got this image that was first released at the start of the era, you know, the image that they now have on their website, which is really cool. I like this image. It's got a cool aesthetic. Here's me struggling. And also, cool detail, Lavish is the only title in the entirety of this lyric booklet that's used a different font, that curly font, which is just a really funny detail. We've got Navigating, thank you Josh Dunn for allowing that song onto the album. Oldie Station and Snapback. And then we have At the Risk of Feeling Dumb and Paladin Straight. Now, I want to draw everybody's attention to Paladin Straight, because first of all, it doesn't have that last verse written in the lyric book, you know, the one where Nico is speaking, saying so few, so proud and so emotional. It's not actually recorded. And second of all, there's this little blurry thing in the distance. Hopefully I can get a clearer quality. But it's not people, but to me it looks like the car headlights from the Heavy Dirty Soul car. So this feels like confirmation of my own little mini theory that Paladin Straight will end at the Heavy Dirty Soul music video. It will go back to where it began. Anyway, on to the thanks, which the site era didn't have in its booklet. Another interesting detail to note is that they have a photographer from Iceland, so the Paladin Straight MV may have images from Iceland. That or some of the booklet also contains images from Iceland, I don't know. And there's Tyler and Josh's thanks at the bottom. I'm not going to read it out, you've probably already got your own copies, but what's interesting is Tyler's cuts off. It says, you guys stop, here we, and it should end on go, but it doesn't. They're really like teasing this double album hard. But yeah, that's the unboxing of the Clancy album that I bought. It's really cool, it's a pretty album, probably one of my favorites. And now, probably what you've all been waiting for, my review on Clancy itself. As a heads up, I'm not rating the songs based on lyrics, unless the lyrics are so good that it sways my opinion, or the music videos. I'm just going to be rating them based on how much I like the sound. I'm also not going to be ranking the songs on this album because that is quite literally the meanest thing you can make me do since like 5 songs are tied for first place. This is going to remain a 9 out of 10 for me. I really like it. I think it's a brilliant album opener, better than Jumpsuit. The production is stellar. This rating is also going to stay the same for me. It's still a 10 out of 10. I'm getting Sleep Alone by Two Door Cinema Club vibes. And the lyrics have quite literally kicked me to the curb. Left me sobbing. It hits hard, especially as like a university student. 7 out of 10. The stressed out references were really masterfully implemented and it was just a really nice callback. Also, the Fall Away references had me jumping up and down with glee because that's one of my favourite songs off of Self-Titled. The chorus goes really hard. I love the piano. I enjoy the melody. The verses seem a little lackluster in comparison to the chorus due to the basic instrumentation of the melody, but I still love the song though. It's still good. One of my favorites from this album. 10 out of 10. The piano that picks up during the verse, especially verse 2, has such heavy Keen vibes, which is a style I absolutely adore. I just love that chord progression. I want to eat it. I want to eat the chord progression. The lyrics also hit me quite hard upon first listen. It's just such a good song. 9 out of 10, another really well-produced one. The electric guitar riff, or whatever the hell that instrument is at the beginning, lives rent-free in my mind at all times, as well as the rap verse at the end. It's not my favourite off of the album in comparison to some of the other songs, but I really do like it. Another banger, 10 out of 10. This is yet another song where a lot of the segments live rent-free in my mind. The sibilants, the chorus, the piano, the falsetto, the bridge. Mwah. Chef's kiss. 10 out of 10 for the single version and 6 out of 10 for Jenna's version. The single version was great. I love the combination of the synths and instrumental ornamentation with acoustic ukulele. It had the same quality to it as the Heathens X Trees mashup during the Psy livestream. Jenna's version, however, falls a little bit flat with just being straight ukulele. It's a little boring without the musical decoration in comparison to its single counterpart and just feels a little monotonous. J.L. Anderson said this on a live stream, but this is the least sounding 21 Pilots song 21 Pilots have ever produced. I'm neutral about this song. The sound is objectively fun, it's very bouncy, and I actually really adore the lyrics. They're incredibly smart and I can't wait to analyze them, but it's just not to my tastes. I might listen to it every once in a while if I'm in the mood to, but I'm sorry, it's just not my style. 3 out of 10 because I believe the lyrics save this song quite a bit. Yet another 10 out of 10 because holy hell, this song is amazing. It's yet another song that reminds me of Sleep Alone by Two Door Cinema Club, but the chorus specifically reminds me of a song called Tokyo by White Lies, who I really recommend checking out, by the way, if you like navigating. The album really does the Law songs so well because they all sound absolutely incredible, and I'm just gonna keep on running out of synonyms for the word good by the time this review is over. This is another song I'm neutral about. It's another one that I might not listen to as much. I might listen to it every once in a while, but it's mostly going to be a skip for me. The lyrics are powerful, but I just don't like the sound. It's another one that sounds really monotonous all the way through until the end where more instrumentation is added. And I also can't get over the fact it sounds like the 2005 soundtrack for Nintendogs Lab and Friends. 3 out of 10. 8 out of 10. I don't have much to say about Oldie Station other than I really like it, especially when the music starts to change at the bridge. It's such a beautiful song and I love the meaning behind it. We need to rename Clancy to Oops All Bangers because they cannot keep getting away with another 10 out of 10 song. The Pilots clearly went to the J. Joseph school of making hits because this song really heavily reminds me of Ghost Dance. It starts off with that chill verse before the chorus absolutely annihilates you and causes your soul to ascend to another plane of existence. Also, the lyrics are great. Someone in my Discord called it the friend please of this era, but happier, and it's just such a good song. 10 out of 10. I love this song. I love the ukulele change in the outro, whereas outro songs tend to normally just be piano songs. I love the little synth at around 0:55, which really reminds me of the beginning of Jumpsuit. And it also sounds like war fanfare. Which is it's a form of music theory, but it's meant to evoke that idea of a battle, and it's so good mixed with the ukulele. I love how cryptic the ending is and that it could allude to a bunch of different things, and we're not gonna know until we watch the music video. God, it's such a perfect outro to this album, and I'm surprised I don't see a lot more hype around this song because of how good it is. It's just a perfect ending to a perfect album in my eyes.
Clancy is ultimately a 10 out of 10 album for me. Much like how the cover incorporates details from each of the previous 21 Pilots eras, Clancy also incorporates the sounds and styles of previous eras as well. That inconsistency in genre and sound, which 21 Pilots are known for, serve a purpose here to commemorate all which came before.
I think the album is ultimately very well produced, even if I have some incredibly low-ranking songs on it, but that's purely due to my own subjective tastes on the song. I know some people like songs that are stripped back, some people don't, and also part of it is down to sound as well, which differs from person to person, but you can't deny the album is well produced. My only criticism would be that it is clear some songs do have more production value than others. Like if you compare the verses of Backslide to the verses of Next Semester, there is a very clear difference in production, but honestly that's just me being nitpicky. I really like this album. This could potentially beat Trench for me if given the time to stew and age like fine wine. Either way, Thanks for watching. The stems I used in the video have been made by these wonderful people, and stream Clancy or something.